Well, happy days, my friends, real estate agents and brokers around the United States. You know why we're here. We're here to help build your business and build your wealth. And I'm Dr. Hank, and this is Agent Wealth Network. And every week we have something just surprising and delightful, and somebody that is just one of the best in the United States that's doing it. And today I'm happy to introduce to you Jonathan Kirk. He's from the Kirk Home Group. He's in Maryland. He's expanding his real estate business like nobody else is in there. And where I think he can help us most today is that he is a master at scripts and converting expired listings. And as well as he's an investor. But probably what I love best about Jonathan is he wrote in his Facebook, the epic family dude, Jonathan Kirk. How are you, man?
I'm good, Dr. Hank. Thanks for having me on today. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Oh, well, thank you. We just like having the best in America on, and so you're definitely it. And so, can you tell us a little background so we can understand kind of what you've been through and you're thinking about real estate and how you got into expired listings?
Sure, absolutely. So,
Great.
I got licensed in 2012 and, started my career on a team as a buyer's agent. Shortly after the first year of selling 19 houses, from being in open houses mostly, I figured out that listings was the name of the game. So I branched off and, I started working with investors here and there, but it wasn't until 2014 in October, Dr. Hank, that my wife and I found out we were going to be parents, where everything changed. Yeah, man. So I was forced to look at the books, and it was October 2014. I'll never forget it. I had no listings, I had no money, and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess it's pick up the phone. So I decided to start calling FSBOs. I looked them up off Zillow. I called one, got the appointment, went in, did the listing presentation, which I had no visuals. I lost quickly. I knew when I was walking out I wasn't going to get that listing. So I went to the PW family reunion in 2015 with one mission: to get a bulletproof listing presentation. Sat in Ben Kinney's class, list 500 houses. I saw the listing presentation. I got it and heard a quote from Zig Ziglar that Ben mentioned: people are designed to believe what they see from birth and doubt what they hear. So I was going in there just talking, not showing them anything. So once I got the visuals and the listing presentation, I kicked in the door and the floodgates opened. I took, I think, 38 listings in 2015, took 60 listings in 2016, and sold 48 of them, 85% expireds. And the rest is
Wow, that's just fantastic. So, you brought up a few excellent points. First of all, you got a really good listing presentation. And so this world has, what I love about this world is, if we have the power to think it, that God has the ability to provide it to us from, different people sources, that it's got to be someplace. And so where did you find that listing again? Which one did you get?
It was Ben Kinney. He's a huge agent out of Bellingham, Washington. And it was a PowerPoint presentation. And it was really just, it shows the three things that directly affect how whether or not a house is going to sell: the price, the way it shows, the way it's marketed, and then it goes through where buyers find their homes. So it really, it really shows and informs the sellers where buyers come from. And then after he shows the sellers where buyers come from online, he trial closes them. He'll ask them a question that'll help him close at the end. He'll say, after he showed him everything, he'll say, as I add this up, Mr. Seller, is there anything else that another agent has said that they would do in regard to marketing directly towards other agents that for some reason I forgot to mention here? And they're like, no. He's like, well, that's normally what I hear, is that this is the most aggressive marketing plan geared towards other agents, but that's only 35% of where buyers come from. So he moves to online marketing, goes through how he markets online, trial closes them again, and then he says, other than price, is there anything else that you'd like to discuss before we fill out some paperwork? And that's it.
Wow. See, and those scripts are it. Is there a way to get a hold of you? Would you like that you could share that with our different agents that are hearing today?
Absolutely.
Watch.
Yeah, it's actually available. It's out there. I don't know what the deal is with it. I got it like 6 years ago, and
Okay.
I've actually customized my own custom listing presentation since then, which I'd be more than happy to share with some
That's
folks. So,
awesome. And so
yeah,
what's the best way to get a hold of you?
you can actually call me or email me. You could or hit me up on Facebook 443-928-4550. That's my personal cell phone and my business phone. So all agents call me anytime. I'll give you
Wow.
whatever I have, man. Whatever I have. It was all freely given to me because I sought it out. So you can only
Yeah.
keep what you have by giving it away, Doc.
Oh, I just love that. And, that's just how this world is. The more that you give, the more you get back. And that's just great.
Well,
So,
think about that because
yeah,
when you give it away, you're leaving yourself open to learn more. So
yeah,
like when you first come across a technique that's very successful, you want to guard it and protect it and hoarder it and not leave it out to anybody. But the truth is that when you give it away freely, it leaves you open to receive more. And with the work that it takes to really perfect this and get the results,
yeah.
I give it away freely because if somebody's able to replicate what I can do, they deserve it because they obviously put in the work.
Man, you are good. You're besides an epic family dude, you're an epic dude. Yeah, I just love that giving heart, and that's why you're successful. That's one of the keys. Now, can you share some of the script? You were saying a few things there that were really good, and you're kind of closing them. And is there anything else that we could, that I could provide for you? Can you kind of walk us through a little on what's the most important key things that you say as far as converting those expired listings into a listing of your own?
Okay, so really it's over the phone is where I do the majority of my prospecting.
Okay.
I do it with a savvy SW3 Plantronics. So I mean, like it's a $220 headset, but
Yeah.
it's worth it, And even now I'm getting back to just the simple old Apple earbuds. The Apple earbuds are working really well because I'm getting away from Bluetooth. So your sonic connection has to be solid. If people don't hear you in a quality manner, it doesn't matter how good your scripts are. It doesn't matter how good you are at selling houses because they're not going to connect with you. So the
Uh,
audio, if you're on the phone or whatever the platform of communication is, has to be solid. Then,
yes.
what I'm doing is, I read a great book by Chris Voss. It's called Never Split the Difference. He's an FBI hostage negotiator. And
Wow.
Hank, I don't talk like I'm talking to you. I'll come down a little bit and I'll use my late night DJ FM voice and I'll go, hey, Mr. Hank, Jonathan Kirk here with the Kirk Home Group. Noticed that house came off the market. Did you guys sell that or is it still possibly for sale?
Wow.
So that's my tone. I'm right here. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I'm not
Yeah.
going out. I'm not going out of that until I meet them in person. And even in the first meeting, I'm super cool, calm, and collected before I really let them see my personality profile. And they'll
Yeah.
see that during the listing presentation. So my mannerism, the way I communicate, it's late night DJ FM voice. So I'm real cool, calm, and consistent. No matter what. So that's the number one priority for me. If
Is
I'm
that
not
only
in
to women that you talk that way to, or even the
I
guys
hope
like
so.
it?
I hope so. No, but if I'm not in my right mindset, Doc, I'm not going to get on the phone. You know what I mean? Because it's just a waste of time. If I'm not feeling it, if I'm not ready to put on the act, just like you said, if you could see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. If you
Yeah.
can't see yourself being successful before you even hit the phones, just wait until you can actually see it. Creatively visualize yourself succeeding before you
Yeah.
get on the phones. So
Jonathan, you bring up just an amazing point there because that's how, excuse me, there I interrupted you but I get so excited over this is every successful person that I've ever interviewed that they eventually get to this point on it's your mindset, and everything comes from your mind. And the reason why that is, all of science has agreed that there's 3 steps to creation. So, in other words, to our experience that we have, to any of our dreams to come true. And the first step is our thoughts. And so it's all about our thoughts, and our thoughts then create energy. And that energy then, which is our emotions, and like you were saying, if I'm feeling it or not. And then that third last step, according to scientists, is that your thought then goes into energy that creates matter. In other words, our experience and the things that we want. So you are just right on it. I'm sorry for interrupting you there. I just got so excited over that mindset again.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, and it even goes back one step further. Right before the thoughts, it actually starts with your programming. So, what you're feeding your mind at night and in the morning is what you're programming your operating system with. So if you're watching the news in the morning, if you're arguing with your spouse in the morning before you go into work, your operating system is not going to be operating at maximum capacity. If you're just watching mindless television at night, you're eating junk food and you're not, putting plentiful nutrients into your body and exercising, you're not going to perform as well the next day. It's just it's a scientific fact. What you put in is what you're going to get out. So the programming that leads to the thoughts lead to the feelings to the actions, and then the results. So it all starts with what you put into your mind. So I'm a big believer that if your mind game's not right, don't even start, because it's just going to waste time, money, and it's going to give you frustration.
And how will you, what's a good way? At first, I'm curious on to programming, like in the evening and in the morning. Do you have any things that have been very effective other than this healthy eating like you were sharing? Do you have anything else that you could help us with that? And then I want to get into right before you make the calls, but what do you do in order to kind of get that whole structure to where you're just feeling good,
Yeah. So I'm a big audiobook guy. I have a big library. And as much as I love John C. Maxwell, he's not the kind of guy you want to listen to on the way to lead generate. He's gonna put you to sleep. So somebody like Grant Cardone, you know what I mean, that's gonna get you jacked, 10x, obsessed, or be average. It's my duty, responsibility, priority, and obligation to be successful every single day for my family. That's the stuff that I had to feed myself with when I knew I was going to be a father for the first time. It gets you to a peak state of flow. So there's nothing that's going to hinder you. It's just you're so focused. And I used to have 45-minute drives downtown listening to Uncle G in my ear. So he's always with me. And it's to the point where I can listen to any type of music to get myself in that peak state as long as I'm feeling good physically.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, I call that pre-paving too. It's kind of like, it's a good visual for us. We pre-pave, it's almost like this highway that we're going to do. And I love pre-paving a corridor of joy, and the doors of abundance are just swinging open,
I love that. That's great energy, Doc.
Yeah. And what do you do in the morning then? Anything special in the morning?
Yeah, so the first thing I do, and my coach drilled this into my head, Andy Shear, Pillar 9, is before I even sip my coffee, I journal 3 things that I'm grateful for.
Awesome.
As soon as I wake up, it could be my comfy bed, it could be my family, it could be the fact that I had a good night's sleep, or, I'm healthy, I have opportunity. That's the first thing. And I have a schedule blocked. So it's usually quality time with my 1 and 2-year-old boys, in bed with my wife. Sometimes they wake up early, 5:30, 6:30. If I can get to the gym in the morning on Tuesdays and Thursdays when my oldest doesn't go to school, I go then. If not, I'll go in the afternoon. But I don't really like to start the race too late in the day. I like to make all my money by 2 p.m.
That's awesome. I love that idea and that concept. And so you hit on just another magical point in this is this idea of what I appreciate, and so grateful for, and I even like that word appreciation. It's a higher energy word on appreciation. And what it does, it's telling God, the universe, I want more of it. Just automatically as we do that, I want more of good health. I want more business. I want more good nights sleeps, and just those little things that to prepare yourself. I have what's called a joy shop that I do in the morning, and I teach other people how to do it. And it's writing down 3 things. And the first thing is to be in a state of appreciation and write down what are those things that you appreciate. And then another one is to pre-pave your day the way you want it. So like if you're going to be calling, to pre-pave that in the morning and say, hey, what is that going to be? So I just love what you're doing, and it's just all about that. And, and your energy, you can just feel your energy, and you put that energy over the phone, even though you're kind of cute about it on doing that, midnight FM guy. And so now you got a good stable mindset. And then what do you do before you start calling then? Do you have any techniques that you use for that?
Yeah, so I have a ritual and a routine that I do to compile my lists. I don't like anybody sending me my list. I don't have an assistant sending my list up. I set my list up that day because I might
Wow.
change my mind on what I want to call based on how many expireds come in versus how many FISBOs come in. Sometimes I'll adjust. If there's not that many, I'll go towards old expireds, or I'll shift and do some circle prospecting if I want to.
Okay.
My system is Land Voice. I can drop a link as well for that. I use their Land Voice Pro data, and then I export that into Mojo, triple line power dialer.
Okay.
And before I do that, I'll search my expired list. I'll go maybe from a month to a month, and I'll do from certain price point to certain price point because I don't want my listings to go below a certain price point. And then I'll export that into a Excel spreadsheet, and then I'll data filter it to make sure that I'm calling all the cities or all the areas that I want to call. I don't want to get stuck on the phone with somebody who's 50 minutes away from me when I could be speaking to a listing right there. So the way I
Yeah,
filter my lists, it's very like down to a science.
that's
And
great.
it almost didn't work the other day because it wouldn't filter with phone numbers only. So I had to go through a bunch and I called and tech support handled it right away and there's a ticket. But
Yeah.
just that little glitch, it set me off. I was like, look, I got to have my system the way I like to have it. Because it's a mathematical certainty. If I make the calls, listings just come in quickly. My
Yeah.
my contacts to call ratio are very high. I'm not sitting on the phone waiting for somebody to pick up. I'm always speaking to somebody.
That's just great. And see, you prepave that you just say, hey, I get these listings. This happens to me, and I got a system and how to do it. Do you do any mindset training prior, just right before you call then?
So I don't know if you could see this, but I'll show you what I got going on right here.
Okay, cool, cool.
Hold on.
There.
See
Oh,
that?
wow.
So I got a lot of mindset stuff, and then I have Millionaire
Woo-hoo.
Real Estate Agent right here.
Yeah, I
So,
love that.
so I have all the good stuff right in front of my face. So if I ever get discouraged, I can just look right up and be like, that's right. Stay
That-
focused. And then I got
That's
my mission
great.
board right there. There you go.
That's great. Yeah, and there my vision board is right in the corner.
Yeah,
Pure
there's
joy and greatness, and you just do that. So that's super. So can you help us now on? I'd like to get a little bit more tactical. We kind of understand on how you build your life based on what you're doing, like before you go to bed, and when you wake up in the morning. That way you can just start off in such a good way, and you prepare, and you have a system down. Then you do all this mindset, and you get fired up, and and then can you help us with scripts? As you're really considered one of the masters of scripts for especially expired listings in America. And so can you help us a little with that scripts and how what scripts you use and how it works?
So look, here's
Strategies.
the deal, Doc. In
Yeah.
the beginning of the phone calls, when people get the majority of the resistance, right? So it's like, hey, Doc, the house came off the market. I was calling to find out, did you guys sell it or is it still for sale? Normally they're like, why are you a buyer or do you have a buyer? Normally I'll say, you know what, it's a little bit premature for me to say that I have a buyer since I haven't seen the house in person yet. But speaking of buyers, what was the average feedback that you received from your last agent on all the buyers that came to look at the property? And then you're going to hear probably crickets, or you're going to hear them say, well, I didn't get any feedback. So there you go. They're getting them to answer questions. Now, on the other hand, when you get a lot of resistance up front and they're like, Jonathan, you're the 15th caller that's called me, I'll try and make them chuckle real quick. I'll say, well, great. It sounds like you rejected 14 people before me. And most of them were probably calling because they were looking for their next transaction. I'm more focused in cultivating relationships, and as a result of pumping value into those relationships, I just so happen to sell a lot of property. But just curious, did you guys sell that house, or is it still possibly for sale? Right up that line. So we can go off with them a little bit, and we can let them know that we're indifferent. But after we let them know, we put them in their place, go right back up and go right to the script. So by the way, did that house sell, or is it still possibly for sale? Then they know that they're speaking to somebody different. They'll answer the question. Well, actually, it's still for sale, but we took it off the market. Then you want to uncover their motivation, right? Because without the motivation, you're not going to be able to close them in the end. So my favorite way to ask that question, and again, guys, Derek Lipsky, he's the guy that I got my scripts from, his program's available as well, a ton of YouTube videos. But he always says, had you sold when you're in the market, where were you going to go to next? Which is a great line because it paints the picture of where they were going to go. Then you get the time frame to take them down there. but these are just standard questions that you could get on a script. Where I went in the beginning is really where the money is. If you can tell them why you're calling instead of what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, that's where the results come, because people don't care about how much you know until they know about how much you care, right? So when I said, look, it sounds like you rejected 14 people before me, and most of them were probably looking for their next real estate transaction. That's because they're all operating in a sales funnel. We're operating in a relationship funnel. Very different, right? At the sale, when the sale stops, that's when the sales funnel ends. When the sale happens, that's when the relationship funnel begins. So I communicate to them over the phone that I'm not looking to cultivate my next transaction. I have enough of them. We do great. I'm looking for my next relationship. I'm a relationship guy. And my mission is to pump value into those relationships without any expectation of what I receive in return. And as a result of me doing that, Mr. Seller, authentically, I do very well for myself. So chances are, if I'm providing the value to you, you're probably not going to forget about me when it's time to buy or sell a home, or you have a friend or family member that might be thinking about making a move. So that's the approach. That's the approach that I take. I always send them my reviews so they could do their due diligence. And I'm never trying to hard close them, because I'm more selective about working with them than they are about working with me. They just don't know that yet. So I mean, I'd be happy to go into a role play so we can, authenticate it or simulate it. But to be quite honest, if you have a mission to communicate why you're calling, you're going to be able to back up yourself when you get backed into a corner. If you don't have a real reason, a real mission for why your business is in existence, then you're just looking for your next transaction. And these people feel like they're just another dollar sign to you.
Yeah, exactly. So what about the objection then, just to handle one specifically, that something like, oh, if you're a realtor, are you a realtor? Or, you're going to cost more because you're a realtor. Can you kind of get into that whole menage of thinking that sometimes, especially FISBOs have?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, look, so with FISBOs, I don't really call them too much, but I do have pretty good scripts for them. And again, you guys can reference Colton Lindsay for that. He's, in my opinion, the for sale by owner master, fearless coaching. Definitely going to make a plug for them because I get massive value from them. Hold on a second. So I'm going to put credit where credit's due. You know what I mean? I don't make any money from any of this. Derek Lipsky, Colton Lindsay, Dave Norberg. I mean, those are some of the greats in the business.
Awesome.
But Colton, when he goes through the script, he asked them a question that really resonated with me. And it's not just the question, it's the way he asked the question. So he'll say, did you try to sell it yourself? Is that because you hate realtors, or what is it? And it's like and you want them to almost be like, well, no, I wanted to save the money. So he says, okay, so is that the only reason? Just the money? Yeah, Colton, or yeah, Jonathan, that's it. Got it. So it's really just all about the money, right? Yeah, it is. All right, perfect. And then he says something like, all right, so he says, let me ask you a question and let me know if this is okay with you. He's like, if you knew for certain that by doing business with me, two things would happen. First is we'd actually sell your house. Second is we'd actually net you more money, significantly more money in your pocket. I'm talking with or without a real estate agent. Mr. Seller, I know it sounds like a big promise, but if it were true, would you even want to hear more about it? And be honest.
Yeah.
So he's looking for a yes, right? Sometimes you'd be like, if you knew it were true, would there be any reason for us not to get together for 15 minutes?
Yeah,
then you could go for a no. See, I like to go for a no because people instinctually say no a little bit easier than yes. If they're like, yes, it's like, shit, what did I say? What did I commit to? Right? So one of my favorite closing lines is there any reason?
Well, your volume. Can't hear your volume.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, now I got you.
So at the end of the presentation, or
there we go.
At the end of the conversation, my favorite closing question is there any reason for us not to move forward? Is there any reason for us not to move forward? Such a great line, because when you've done the trial closes, and this is with the listing presentation, you showed them where buyers come from, marketing towards other agents. You showed them where buyers come from, online. and then you trial close them. You said you say, as I add all this up, is there anything else that maybe another agent has said that they would do in regard to marketing online or to other agents that for some reason I left out? No, Jonathan. Great. So other than price, is there anything else that you'd like to discuss before we fill out some paperwork? And normally that's when you're going to get your objection. Now we're going to get into some good stuff right now. Okay, Doc?
Okay, good.
So usually they'll say, you know what, Jonathan, we really don't sign anything on the first day. Okay. Or we like to think it over, let us take a look over tonight. We'll let you know tomorrow. Right. Or one of my favorites, actually, Jonathan, we actually have a couple other interviews coming up, so we have 2 other agents that we're interviewing. So we'd like to work with you, but we're going to interview them first. Right. Then what do you guys do? Right.
Yeah.
So this is the magic close. Okay. This is something that is super effective and it doesn't have to change. So you guys want to interview other agents. So let's just role play it, Hank, okay? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Got it. We're going to role play. Got it.
Hank, aside from interviewing any other agents, is there any other reason why we wouldn't get together today and list your home?
Well, I don't think so, but I do have other agents that I need to talk to, Want to make sure that everything's comfortable.
Gotcha. But aside from listing with those agents, is there any other reason why we couldn't get together? Or no, aside from meeting with those other agents, is there any other reason why we wouldn't get together today?
No, I don't think so. You sound like a pretty good guy.
Gotcha. So you are comfortable and confident that I can get it done, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, Mr. Hank, usually when my sellers tell me that they are comfortable and confident with me, but yet they'd still like to go ahead with other interviews, it's normally because they feel obligated, these other agents out of their busy schedule, in essence, to help you sell your house. And you told me that you're already set to meet with them, one on Thursday and the other one on Friday. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah, I got a couple of appointments.
Okay, I got you, Mr. Hank. So I'm comfortable with this, and this is what I propose, and you let me know if this works for you, okay? And I do this all the time. I'll go ahead and I'll call those other agents, okay? And what I'll say is, I was here with Mr. Hank, and he was really looking forward to meeting with you guys. We decided to work together, and Hank told me he'd still love to work with you guys. If you could bring us a buyer, we'd still be willing to pay you a full 2.5% commission. And then I look at the seller and I say, this way, Mr. Hank, we don't keep you or these other busy agents away from their family or their businesses any longer than we really need to, considering you're already comfortable and confident with me that I can get it done. And I'm ready to get this house sold. Is there any reason for us not to move forward?
So you're going to call them then, those 2 agents? You're going to call?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call them for you.
Okay. You know what? Yeah, you know what, Johnny, you just are something else, man. And I'm in with you, and as long as you call them now, and be nice to them, okay?
Of course. We all got to play nicely in the same sandbox, and I'll try and get them to bring us a buyer also.
There you go. Fantastic. Yeah, that sounds great.
That's it. That's the magic close. And what it is, it's whether they want to sleep it over, whether they want to interview other agents. You have to anchor it away. So whatever their objection is, aside from your objection, is there any other reason why we wouldn't get started today? No? Perfect. So you affirm. So you are comfortable and confident that I can get it done, right? Yeah, Jonathan, I'm comfortable and confident. Okay, perfect. And you let them know that usually what happens when your sellers say that they are comfortable and confident, but yet they'd still like to go with other interviews, it's normally because they feel obligated. These other agents are coming out of their busy schedule. So look, this is what I propose, and let me know if it works for you. I do it all the time. I'll call these other agents, Doc. I'll let them know that, look, we were really looking forward to meeting with them. We decided to work together, and, we'd still love to work with you if you could still bring us a buyer, pay you a full 2.5% commission. This way, Doc, we don't keep you or the agents away from their family or business any longer than we really need to, considering you're already comfortable and confident with me, and I'm ready to get this job done. Is there any reason for us not to move forward?
Absolutely not. Now, tell me this. That are you doing this directly with them, or are you doing this sometimes on the phone?
No, never on the phone. This is an in-person close. This is an in-person close during the listing presentation when you're trying to walk out with the signatures. When you trial close them, and then you ask them, is there anything other than price that you'd like to discuss before we fill out some paperwork? And that's where you're going to get your objection. Okay. And then we go ahead and overcome the objection with this magic close.
That's great. Magic close. Love it. So if there were, if we go through to on the phone, what's your magic way on the phone in order to get an appointment with them?
So I really, by the time I'm on the phone with them, I'm really trying to just get their email. So the way I get the appointment, okay, that's a good question.
Wow.
You just help me self-discover the way I get the appointments. It's a soft close through email. So, all right, cool, Mr. Hank. You said you wanted to get down to Florida. What I'd love to do is come by, take a look at the property, share with you how I think we can get you down there quickly. First, I'd love to send you some info so you could do your due diligence on me. Really want you to know who I am before we get together. What's the best email for me to send that over to?
Sure, and it's Dr. Hank, Dr. Hank at drhank.biz.
Gotcha. Perfect. Dr. Hank.
And that is a real one.
Perfect. Gotcha, Doc. I hope so.
I'm not moving to Florida.
Gotcha. Cool. So I got your email. I'll send you over my information. Now, I'm going to take a look at my schedule because I know that I'm booked up over the next couple of days here, Doc. Let me see here. So I have a Tuesday and Thursday. Pending you like what you see when I send you my email and you think it might be worth it for us to get together, would Tuesday or Thursday work better for you?
Boy, that's great, Jonathan, because what you did is you made it look like, hey, you're busy. We got to fit first your schedule and find out when you're available. And then you offer, hey, I do have, and then you offer them the selection of two.
Correct. Yeah, and it's not even like we're setting it. It's almost like, hey, if you like what you see type thing, let me block off a couple of days because I know my schedule is going to fill up fast, and most likely I think you'll be impressed. So tell me, which day is going to work for you type thing.
That's great. And so that's any other good script things that, because we pretty much have covered hey, what you say on the phone, how to get them, and you start out easy with the email and then go. I think
with scripts, I think if anybody wants any scripts, they can reach out to me directly. I have books of scripts, objection handlers. I'd be happy to share them. It's just a different type of situation calls for different types of dynamic scripts, objection handlers, or dialogues. So there's an abundance. There's a plethora of them to go over. We will be here for hours.
Sure.
So I think that I need specific questions, and I can really field which script would be a good delivery for that.
Yeah, and that's perfect. Then one last thing before we go here, that you've been just so helpful in all of this and really given us a lot of clarity. That do you have a strategy like behind the script? That what is your strategy? Is the building the relationship, the communication, any other strategies that are helpful in different situations that you could share with us?
Yeah, so, look, it's common courtesy. You just have to have peak levels of awareness with your self-awareness, the way you manage yourself, social awareness, and the way you're managing your relationship with that prospect. Like, for example, I beat out another agent because but I asked her what it was that she decided to go with me. And she said that you were late, but you called and said you were going to be late. The other agent was late. He didn't even call and say he was going to be late. And then when he showed up to the house, he didn't even acknowledge the fact that he was late. Are we in third grade here? It's like you're dealing with a professional. So, and I'm not bashing anybody. I'm just saying, that's what she said. You know what I mean? Are we in third grade here? So it's like, acknowledge it, state the obvious elephant in the room. If you're going to be late, make a call. It's never good to be late like that. You always want to be dressed sharp, clean car in case you don't have to have a fancy car, but have a clean car, because if the sellers walk back out to the car and they see a bunch of water bottles in the back seat, it's not going to be a good look. And I'm the type of dude that's got to clean out the water bottles sometimes before appointments. No shit in my game, Doc. It is what it is. We have a busy job to sell all these properties. And if we're still running families as well and still managing big businesses and training other agents, you got to be efficient with your time. So that's a big part, is your presentation, communication, never lie, and just be upfront and own it. If you're making a mistake, be fully responsible.
That's awesome. Yeah. And just to be authentic like that and to be honest on, it is, we all make mistakes. We all get late, whatever, and to be just legitimate and authentic on, here's who we are. And we're here to take care of our family. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, correct. We're here to take care of our family. But the one thing that I noticed that you have really good and that I do really well too, that I didn't talk about, are our C factors. Smile, the eye contact, and the excitement. That's something that I can tell you got it down to a science. Compared to somebody that has no smile, no eye contact, no excitement. I can't even pretend.
I'm not buying from you.
Look, I can't even pretend to make that face for real. It's just so uncomfortable and not natural.
Yeah.
Smile, eye contact, excitement. If you have strong C factors with that prospect, they're gonna feel invigorated just by being in your presence. They're gonna be like, oh, Jonathan, you're amazing. And that's like what I hear, So
Exactly.
that's what I want to continue to hear.
Yeah, and everybody, really, all of our dreams and everything that we want, we do it to feel good. And that energy, we can either bring negative energy along with us or positive energy. And when you bring positive energy, people want to be by you. People want to be in all that and just, feel that energy and be able to do it. And then it becomes fun, just like we have had just a blast today. on being able to do it. And it's kind of this idea about like a smile, on where the smile when you're on the phone, and just the smile to go across the phone lines, that through the airwaves, that all of that really matters. And it's just like you were saying, on this preparation on who you are, and to be happy, to be appreciative, and to really take it in, and to love your family, and to be as you have the epic family dude. And this is Jonathan Kirk. And Jonathan Kirk, we thank you so much again. To get a hold of Jonathan, it's 443-928-4550. And he's with the Kirk Home Group, and he's growing his real estate company like nobody else is in Maryland there. And he is the America's expert in converting expired listings. And so from Dr. Hank and Agent Wealth Network to all of you, we thank you so much for joining us. And Jonathan, all the best. We thank you, and I'm sure that everybody's going to be calling you and getting some more great information from you.
I'm here to help, Doc. Thanks for having me on. Looking forward to the next one.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you, my friend. Take care.